Mobilizing communities for environmental action in an era defined by climate crises and environmental degradation, mobilizing communities has become essential for driving meaningful change. From grassroots movements to global campaigns, collective action is reshaping how societies address ecological challenges. The power of unified voices cannot be underestimated when confronting issues that demand systemic transformation. Mobilization empowers individuals to contribute meaningfully towards sustainable futures through coordinated efforts and shared goals. The power of collective action in environmental movements. Collective action forms the backbone of successful environmental advocacy. When diverse groups unite around common objectives, their combined influence can shift public opinion, policy frameworks, and corporate behaviors significantly. Historically, landmark achievements such as the Montreal Protocol were made possible only through widespread community engagement and international cooperation. These successes demonstrate that sustained momentum from engaged citizens can achieve what isolated efforts often fail to accomplish. Community-led initiatives provide localized solutions tailored specifically to regional needs while fostering long-term commitment among participants. This approach ensures sustainability beyond fleeting trends or temporary interest spikes. By creating inclusive platforms where everyone feels valued, organizers enhance participation rates and strengthen overall impact potential within any given movement. Shared responsibility. Distributing tasks equitably reduces burnout risks while maximizing contributions across different skill sets. Diverse perspectives. Incorporating varied viewpoints leads to innovative strategies addressing multifaceted problems effectively. Social accountability. Public commitments increase adherence levels, ensuring consistent progress towards set targets. Effective communication channels play crucial roles in maintaining transparency during collaborative projects, which builds trust necessary for enduring partnerships between stakeholders involved. Measuring success based not solely on immediate outcomes but also considering long-term behavioral shifts provides accurate assessments guiding future improvements systematically. Cultivating community engagement through inclusive strategies. Creating environments conducive to active involvement requires intentional design focusing heavily on inclusivity aspects at every stage of development processes. Accessibility considerations must extend beyond physical spaces, encompassing digital interfaces used frequently today, ensuring equal opportunities regardless of socioeconomic backgrounds or technological proficiencies. Engaging underrepresented demographics necessitates culturally sensitive approaches, recognizing unique barriers they might face accessing information resources or participating fully in decision-making forums. Establishing clear pathways for feedback mechanisms allows continuous improvement cycles, making programs adaptable, evolving alongside changing societal dynamics without losing sight of original intentions behind them. Leveraging local knowledge for effective campaigns. Local knowledge serves as invaluable asset shaping campaign directions, aligning closely with community priorities rather than imposing external agendas onto populations affected most directly by environmental policies being advocated for. Studies show regions incorporating indigenous wisdom alongside scientific data experience higher success rates achieving conservation milestones compared those relying exclusively modern methodologies alone. This synergy creates holistic understanding, enabling precise interventions targeting root causes instead superficial symptoms, manifesting environmentally challenged areas currently facing acute threats to human activity patterns persistently damaging ecosystems globally. Fostering two-way dialogues encourages mutual learning experiences beneficial both activists seeking authentic connections ground realities versus academics requiring real-world context. Validating theoretical models developed within controlled experimental settings removed actual implementation complexities encountered daily life situations. Bridging generational gaps within activist networks. Evolving activist landscapes require bridging generational divides, fostering intergenerational solidarity, enhancing resilience against emerging challenges threatening environmental stability worldwide. Youth-driven movements bring fresh energy, innovation, revitalizing stagnant sectors, struggling relevance amidst rapidly shifting geopolitical climates characterizing contemporary political arenas, increasingly polarized ideological spectrums. Experienced advocates offer institutional memory navigating bureaucratic hurdles, adeptly managing complex negotiations, demanding nuanced diplomacy skills, honed years dedicated frontline work advocating marginalized communities, battling oppressive structures, perpetuating inequality. Intergenerational mentorship programs create symbiotic relationships allowing transferal critical competencies, including strategic planning, resource allocation, risk management techniques cultivated decades, hands-on engagements, various conflict zones marked history, struggles securing basic rights, fundamental survival necessities. Building sustainable volunteer networks. Sustainable volunteer networks are foundational elements supporting prolonged campaigns, ensuring continuity operations despite fluctuating membership levels, inherent organic growth trajectories, typical grassroots organizations expanding gradually over time. Structured recruitment systems facilitate seamless integration, new members matching individual strengths, available positions, thereby optimizing workforce efficiency, minimizing redundancies, arising mismatch expectations, capabilities. Regular training modules equip volunteers practical tools required, executing assigned responsibilities confidently, independently, contributing effectively, overarching mission statements guiding organizational charters, establishing core values, defining purpose, existence. Performance evaluations track developmental milestones, identifying gaps needing remediation, promptly preventing stagnation, eroding morale, undermining efficacy. Operations reliant voluntary contributions. Leveraging technology for wider outreach. Technological advancements have revolutionized outreach methods, broadening access, reaching audiences previously unreachable. Conventional means limited, geographic constraints, socioeconomic limitations restricting dissemination scope, traditional media formats constrained reach, narrower demographic segments. Mobile applications enable real-time updates, tracking campaign progress, visualizing geographical distributions, highlighting hotspots requiring urgent attention, facilitating swift deployment. Emergency response teams equipped appropriate supplies, responding quickly, escalating situations threatening vulnerable populations, living proximity, hazardous conditions, exacerbated climate volatility. Social media platforms serve dual purposes, simultaneously raising awareness, recruiting additional supporters, amplifying messages, exponentially surpassing initial projections generated. Pre-launch phases, meticulously planned marketing campaigns, utilizing analytics, predicting optimal times, posting content, maximizing visibility, engagement metrics monitored, continuously refined algorithms, improving resonance, frequency, target demographics, better understanding preferences, consumption habits shaped. Digital interactions occurring daily lives, now heavily mediated screens. Data visualization software transforms raw numbers, abstract concepts, digestible formats, aiding comprehension. Decision makers, allocating budgets, prioritizing high-impact projects, demonstrating measurable returns. Investments made toward environmental restoration endeavors, emphasizing cost-benefit analyses, proving viability. Scaling up initiatives, initially conceived small-scale pilots, testing feasibility assumptions before committing substantial financial resources, backing large infrastructure developments impacting entire regions, undergoing ecological rehabilitation processes. Navigating legal and policy challenges. Environmental activism often intersects with legal frameworks, necessitating thorough understanding. Regulatory landscape, governing permissible actions, advocating change, safeguarding participants. Legality, compliance standards, protecting liberties, exercising freedoms, guaranteed constitutional protections, enshrined national laws, ratified international treaties, binding signatories, uphold agreed principles, promoting justice, equity, fairness, upheld democratic institutions, mediating disputes, peacefully resolving conflicts, non-violently restoring harmony, disrupted balance, natural world impacted, anthropogenic activities, intensifying ongoing climate crisis, accelerating rate extinction species, destabilizing weather patterns, disrupting food chains, destabilizing economies, dependent stable climatic conditions. Legal advisors play pivotal role navigating labyrinthine procedures, interpreting statutes, regulations, determining boundaries, allowable protests, demonstrations, ensuring peaceful assembly rights exercised responsibly without inciting violence. Destruction, property, undermining security concerns, authorities tasked enforcing order, maintaining public safety, paramount priority, preserving civil liberties, essential functioning democracies, guaranteeing right, protest, dissent, opposing unjust policies. Infringing upon fundamental human rights. Prioritizing nonviolent resistance tactics minimizes confrontation likelihood, reducing chances escalation situations, turning peaceful gatherings violent confrontations, tarnishing reputations, hindering credibility future engagements, potentially leading criminal charges prosecution, deterring others joining cause, fearing repercussions associated participation, unlawful acts exceeding acceptable limits, established norms society deems appropriate conduct, public spheres governed rules, designed protect collective interests, greater good over individual ambitions. Collaborative relationships formed between activists, lawmakers create mutually beneficial alliances, advancing progressive legislation, reflecting community input, translating grassroots demands, legislative language accessible constituents, comprehending implications, enacted bills affecting everyday lives, directly indirectly influencing quality life choices made annually, voting booths, selecting representatives, entrusted stewardship, public funds allocated, services provided, cities, towns, neighborhoods experiencing first-hand consequences, climate change manifested, extreme weather events, flooding, droughts, wildfires, deforestation, pollution, poisoning water sources, air becoming unbreathable due industrial emissions released unchecked. Measuring impact and ensuring accountability, assessing effectiveness campaigns, measuring tangible results, quantifiable indicators, gauging success, failures, guiding informed decisions, refining strategies, adapting dynamically evolving circumstances, ensuring longevity, movements transcending temporary fads, fading popularity, replaced newer flashier alternatives, lacking depth, substance, genuine commitment, transformative change. Qualitative assessments complement quantitative measurements, capturing emotional responses, subjective experiences, narratives shaped lived realities, enriching datasets, providing contextual layers, informing holistic evaluations, capable discerning nuances, missed numerical representations alone unable convey full spectrum human dimensions, intertwined environmental issues, challenging simplistic reductionism, viewing nature purely economic assets, devoid intrinsic value, worth respecting, protecting irrespective utility, derived exploitation. Transparency mechanisms ensure accountability, maintaining integrity, preventing corruption, mismanagement resources, entrusted guardianship, responsible use, ethical practices, upheld consistently, reinforcing trust bonds, built painstaking effort, cultivating loyal base, followers willing invest time, energy, money, support, visionary leaders, inspiring hope, belief, achievable future, free, preventable disasters, looming horizon. Independent audits verify accuracy claims, reported outcomes cross-checked, third-party experts, impartial observers verifying authenticity, findings eliminating biases favoring particular factions, manipulating facts, distortions, misleading conclusions drawn, flawed methodologies applied, unreliable data sources, compromised reliability, validity, research conducted improperly, violating protocols, resulting skewed interpretations, misleading policymakers, basing decisions faulty information, jeopardizing public welfare, undermining credibility, institutions supposed serve best interest citizens regardless partisan affiliations. Conclusion: mobilizing communities remains cornerstone effective environmental advocacy, empowering people, transform passive spectators, proactive agents, instigating positive changes benefiting generations unborn. Through deliberate planning, inclusive strategies, leveraging technology, navigating legal intricacies, measuring impacts accurately, we can build resilient networks capable sustaining momentum necessary, overcoming entrenched opposition forces, resisting reform efforts, seeking status quo preservation at expense planet's health, well-being.